Thank you, Chairman. First, on the Use It Act, let me say a very big thank you to you and to the ranking member for your leadership getting this moving. It's been a pleasure to work with the chairman, Senator Capito, Senator Heidkamp, and Senator Duckworth on this piece of legislation. I want to thank the Audubon Society, the Nature Conservancy, the Clean Air Task Force, the Center for Climate and Energy Solutions, and many other groups for their support of this measure. I understand that there remain some concerns with the permitting section of the bill, but I come from a state that is now providing clean electrons to the grid from offshore wind, the first in the country, and the reason that we're doing that is because we made a more efficient permitting regime for offshore wind. I've been involved in other reforms that have involved regulatory efficiency, and I think it's really important that we be able to work together on those issues. To the extent that regulatory efficiency and regulatory improvement becomes a stand-in for environmental degradation, please know that I and others will stand watch against that. The CCUS legislation that we enacted is going to be, I think, empowered by this. It's one thing to take the carbon dioxide out of the air at the plant. It's another thing to be able to get it to where it can find a beneficial use, whether it's to put bubbles into soda or to be used for industrial purposes or for whatever use. And there is not, as Senator Capito said, a very effective existing regime for how you send CO2 pipelines places. In Rhode Island, we have a lot of algal technologies developing through groups like Bioprocess H2O and AgCore, and obviously the use and development of algae, which feeds off of carbon dioxide, is one of the many uses that our CCUS bill will support. Brown University has a Center for the Capture and Conversion of CO2, which I want to thank for their work in this area. And we don't really know yet, but this could be quite a big thing. The National Academies have estimated that direct air capture technology has the potential to remove 1 billion metric tons of CO2 annually. And that could be a very important component of our efforts to address the climate crisis. So I thank all of the bipartisan participants in this effort. On the WRDA bill, a particular thank you again to Senators Barrasso, Carper, Inhofe, and Cardin for their work getting this bill together. There are a lot of my priorities that are in this bill, and I appreciate it very much. And I appreciate very much our ranking members' pledge to continue to work to try to balance the Flood and Coastal Storm Damage Reduction Fund, which at this point, despite referring to coastal storm damage right in its title, runs $37 to $1 for inland over coastal projects. I've raised that with Mr. James, and we're going to continue to work to try to get a little bit more balance there. A big and final thank you to Senator Boozman for his SRF WIN bill. I have raised the issue before of how WIFIA is simply not useful to Rhode Island because it operates at a scale and with interest costs that simply make it non-competitive. And I think Senator Boozman's amendment, which would open up the WIFIA program to states like mine, is potentially a game changer for us and very important. So I want to particularly thank him for working to address this concern in a bipartisan way. And again, Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Well,